actually 90% of the effort involved in testing is planning and preparation, because you have to plan the stakeholder, plan the test cases, the data that will even be used in the testing the system. You have to plan them and everything. The actual testing might not take you more than 1 day or 2 days, depending on the complexity of the full application, right? And if the application is working flawlessly, you are not having service failure, right? Only 10% of effort is deployed towards the actual testing. So most of the thing on this slide, right, I've mentioned it earlier, right? You have to define schedule when you want to carry out the testing, the number of cycle, how many times, your regression testing, the risks of some of those activities, the KPI, meaning the expected result, the performance criteria, right? The people that will be involved in it, the equipment that needs to be used, if you are going to come on site to print or whatever, and all those things, you have to ensure everything is in place. The test environment, right? The data, whether you are going to use your personal email, or I'm going to provide you an email, or I'm going to provide you the test BVN, or you're going to use it. So those data that you use to actually test, log in as a test user, testing the application, you are going to push it. The location in which the test is going to happen, where is it virtual, is it physical, or whatnot, and how to track the process. So all of this entails your test strategy, right? So after testing, you now need to go into business readiness. So business readiness typically means that you need to ensure that everything else is in place within the organization before you push to production environment, right? The system is okay. Your business process, someone has documented how to use the new system, right? How to solve for anything or navigate the new system. All the data required, the database, everything is defined, everything is set, right? So that once customers start using the system, their information can be stored securely on a database or whatever they need. If we have an existing system before, probably an old version, we have to migrate all the data of the users into the new system, right? So remember, for example, if your WhatsApp updates to a new version, you went to your app store, you update your app, it's not going to tell you to start logging in again, creating an account again, and all of those things, right? It just migrates your existing data and keep using that, right? So all of those things in terms of data needs to be sorted out. Your training too, if you need to train any staff, if you need to send any material out there, you send it. I think WhatsApp do that. They use their WhatsApp status something. I'm using examples that we are familiar with. So they will tell you a new feature is coming. You can now do screen sharing. This is how you go about it. Those short videos that they create as WhatsApp status, right? They train you. It's just to train you or give you support material on how to use it. Change plan, new ways of working. The organization needs to adjust to the new ways. Communication plan, how to tailor your communication to the end users and whoever is going to come in contact with the solution. So it still revolve into this WhatsApp communicating that the new feature is coming and all of that. So it's still same way. So you have to notify the entire organization, whoever your end users are, that this is coming, and they patiently await that. Then the cutover plan, meaning this is the deadline we give for people to migrate from this current WhatsApp to the next WhatsApp, right? So sometimes they even do that even for your laptops, your mobile phone, that if you don't upgrade by this time, we'll stop support for it, right? So they'll force you to make that upgrade. That's the cutover time, the deadline for everybody migrating to the new tool, right? Contingency, just in case something goes wrong with the new one, how do we roll back to the existing one, right? So it's like rollback process, how to quickly roll back to the existing one if we notice that what we deploy is having issue. Now, once you determine all of those things, right, and everything is in place, then you can now go live. You can now release into production environment where users can start using it, things like that. Because if you don't put all these things in place, then you would have issues as stated on the screen. right? You have those issues. So in whatever you do as a business analyst, right, this is typically the flow that you go through, right? This is typically the flow that you would go through to conduct end-to-end business analysis. We've been able to make it in such a way that is easily comprehensible for us. Like I mentioned sometimes during our class, right? Um, um, there is a lot more to, yes, I've walked you through the end to end, right? What it entails, but there's still a lot more in terms of technicalities on how to actually do those work, right? So if you want to look into that, then probably in this next half, we're going to discuss things around that. But before we go into that, um, like I mentioned earlier, there's going to be an activity for you um to follow, and there are rewards for it, courtesy of the organizers of this free training, right? Brightflare Technologies, right? So I hope everyone can still hear me, right? So there is a giveaway, should I call it a giveaway, or a task you need to carry out and you'll be rewarded for it, right? So the first, I think it's three, I guess. Yeah, the first three people, yeah. So the first three people to follow Brightflare new Instagram page, their new backup Instagram page, right? It's already shared on the business analysis group. So the first people to like follow the Brightflare new backup Instagram page and also comment on that WhatsApp group, business analysis, gets an airtime. Okay, airtime is the reward, right? So the first three people to ensure that they follow the new backup Instagram page and also comment on the WhatsApp, that is your business analysis WhatsApp page for Brightflare, right? Commenting business analysis gets airtime as reward, right? So that's the tax. So I'm just going to allow for, say, 2 or 3 minutes or 2 minutes or so for you to um, be able to avail yourself of that opportunity. So follow Brightflare Technologies. The link has been shared, their backup page, right? It was shared on the Brightflare Business Analysis page. Okay, some are not on the group. So how did you come about the link if you're not on the group? Probably you would, for those on the group, you can do that. There's no way for me to share from my phone to this Zoom link, right? So I would have shared the link for joining, but yeah, for those that are on the WhatsApp group, right? Follow, then comment business analysis, right? So the first three people that comment business analysis and are following the backup account would get rewarded, right? Comment business analysis. Awesome. Okay. Now, I haven't done that out this glossary, so I won't go through this. I haven't done that. I would want to talk about navigating career as a business analyst, right? Navigating your career as a business analyst. We've gone into end of typically you having a broad understanding of what business analysis entail. At the end of the day, you are providing or you are solutioning, right, for problems out there. That's one of the major things, whether problems or opportunity, you are creating solutions, sustainable solutions. So all of these applications that you are seeing, right? People are actually working on it. Guys in tech are actually working on it, right? And they created some of these things, right? So you have an opportunity to be a part of um, creating those solutions, right? Creating those applications that people use, creating those systems, platforms that businesses use, even within organizations, right? Even for leisure purpose, things like that. You have opportunity to start creating that. And it comes as a thing of, as a good thing when you can find yourself, um, you can easily say, yes, I created that, or I was part of the people that created this and that, right? I actually understand how this works. So it's a good thing. And also, apart from that, it's a high rewarding field. It's a high rewarding field, both within the country and out of the country. Business analysts are well paid, right? They are well paid, especially when you've traversed, right? You've gone through the process of growing from junior business analyst to a business analyst to a senior business analyst, right? You keep um, increasing your earnings, right? In such a way that actually makes sense and you are contributing, right? So it's one of the highly sought after jobs, and also within tech, right? No code, low code, especially when you're looking at what can I do in tech that I wouldn't I wouldn't need to start writing codes or things like that, right? So those are the things you can look at business analysis. I'm trying to bring up something. Okay. All right. So So for someone asking, um how do I actually go into business analysis, right? Or how do I become this business analyst we've been reviewing and talking about? How, if someone really would want to get into the nitty-gritty of things, how do I become a business analyst, right? All right. So if you're new to business analysis, if you're new to business analysis, the first thing you need to know that is that the role is like incredible versatile. So it's incredibly versatile. You can come from wide variety of backgrounds. So it's not like limited to, oh, this is the background that can only work on it. You must have IT background or whatever stuff, right? So it's not limited to that. You can come up from any background because those backgrounds become a leverage for you to even understand that industry, right? So as a business analyst, you would require soft skill. I call it SHIME, SHIME, soft skill, hard skill, a very good industry knowledge, right? Or domain knowledge. Then you have a good mindset that you can do it. And the last one is E in the SHINE, experience, right? So that industry knowledge can be gotten from anywhere, right? Trust me, if you're working in procurement, there are still guys that work in tech part of procurement, right? Creating procurement solutions, procurement systems. So whatever background you come from, finance, operation, marketing, and you're transitioning into a BA role, the skills that you've developed in those areas can be transferred directly into their role, right? But there are some few core skills you need to own to stand out as a business analyst. You need to have analytical thinking, right? Being able to break down complex problem is very, very essential. So anything that is complex, you can logically think through it and break it down into something understandable, right? You can break it down. So if you're able to think through it, then yeah, you can be a business analyst, right? Because you'll be tasked with understanding both the technical side and business side of project, right? You have to be able to translate business needs into technical solution. Hence, you need to start developing this skill by working on analyzing things, analyze workflow. In that your current organization, right? Analyze the workflow, the process that you actually use to carry out some tasks right now. Analyze it. Just go through it to see, oh, okay, this is the process. This is what we do and stuff like that. So you start getting insight into how to read workflows, analyze the gaps in those workflows, and from there onward, you can progress, right? Communication and stakeholder management is another very important skill if you want to transition into business analysis. So, because you have to spend a lot of time with stakeholders day to day, you interact with stakeholders, right? This is your day in the life of a business analyst. You interact with them because you have to gather those requirements, those shopping list items, right? You have to gather those requirements from them. You have to communicate between business and IT teams. You have to facilitate conversations, right? You have to facilitate conversations. Um, you have to what again? Yeah, you have to facilitate conversation. And one practical way to like develop this is by joining any cross-functional team. So if you join a team that works across multiple departments, right, in your current job, you can practice stakeholder engagement. So whatever current job that you're working on, and you have to interact with different um, different stakeholders or from different departments, this would actually help you out to build your communication skills. Then technical tools. You have to understand how to use some technical tools, right? So these are things that time will not permit us to cover during the training session, like going through all the tools the business analysts use and all of that, right? So tools like Excel, VCO, Lucid Chart for process marking, JIRA, I know most of us might know how to use word processing tool like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. We would know how to use some basic Excel, that's a spreadsheet, either Google spreadsheet or Microsoft Excel. Prototyping tools, you need to know how to use things around Figma, Whimsical, Miro, whatnot. So there are a lot of tools out there that will aid your work as a business analyst, right? So you want to leverage on those tools, right? Also, after putting in place those core skills like analytical thinking, communication, technical tools, now you have to go for advanced skills also, especially when you are becoming experienced, right? You have to understand strategic thinking, right? You need to evolve from simply gathering requirements to helping shape business strategy, right? You need to develop like strong understanding of how business goals are going to align with IT projects, right? You have to possess that leadership and mentorship skills. But for both new and experienced BAs, even at this time of the year, right, is one time that organizations are looking to recruit, right, to staff up so that they can implement whatever objective or strategy they've set out to achieve for the year 2025, right? So it's an opportunity for you to get out there. Um, Companies would want to expedite hiring process to meet their goals. So for experienced BA, for some of us probably have been experienced before, you can look at it as opportunity to tap into it. For new BAs, you have to also get your foot in the door, right? So things like ensuring that you have the right networking opportunities to be able to avail yourself of business analysis gathering or sharing of knowledge, right, is very necessary. So you have to get yourself on things like boot camps, right, or training, structured training. I wouldn't advise you to go to YouTube for unstructured learning, right? Because when you are supposed to start from what is business analysis, you are picking it from the middle from what is agile, right? Go for structured learning. Some people do paid courses like Udemy, Coursera, self-paced learning. But self-paced learning, most times, I can bet with you, there are some of us here that have Udemy subscription courses that are left there. Cobwebs is on it, right? I myself is a sample of that, right? I have a lot of courses, data analysis, this, that, and that. They are all gathering dust on Udemy, and I couldn't go through it. But things that would actually help you to commit yourself, things like this training, you notice how you committed yourself in going through this, right? Imagine when it's now a full-blown boot camp where you get the live classes, theoretical aspects, and you also get the opportunity to work on projects. That is the project phase, right? You work on actual projects, creating actual solutions and all of that. You interact with project managers, you interact with developers and all of that to practicalize all what you've learned during the live classes, right? So that is an opportunity to bolster your experience, to help you solidify your knowledge in business analysis, and it will also give you confidence to take on jobs out there, right? It will give you confidence to take on jobs out there because now, when going into jobs out there as a business analyst, for those of us that might be aspiring or existing business analysts, what they would evaluate you around is still around that shine I mentioned, right? Your soft skills, your hard skills, your industry knowledge, that is domain knowledge, understanding of that domain. If you're in finance, you have to understand finance. Fintech, you have to understand fintech. Consumer lending, you have to understand the procurement. So whatever domain, right, that industry knowledge is important. Then also your mindset. You have to have the right mindset for any interviews. Then also your experience. They will ask you about your experience. Have you done this before as a BA? Have you gathered requirements and all of those? Then if you now go for advanced level, maybe applying as an experienced hire, you will be faced with scenario-based interview like that will entail you providing or answering questions around case case study questions, technical questions, scenario-based questions and things like that, right? So those things really try to check if you have the experience indeed. And a boot camp would have given you sufficient grounding and confidence that you've worked on actual project before, and you'll be better able to ace some of these interviews that you're vying into. So bootcamp is essential, right? If you can get yourself on a bootcamp, like a full business analysis training, get yourself a mentorship, someone to mentor you through business analysis, check up on you. You can brainstorm with them, raise questions with them, you get clarification. If there's any issue, they can help you on it. That really tracks. Ensure that we are within a network, right? The same way you have this Brightflare business analysis, it becomes a network for you, for those you meet on here, right? You can interact, you can follow each other up, you can ask on how they are preparing or how they are planning to go about it. If they want to register on Brightflare Technologies Bootcamp, for example, you can register together and you build your network from there, right? Those I started with together, some are currently working for Andela, some are working with what do you call this, InterSwitch, some are working with Stanbic, some are working NNPC. So they start dispersing, right? Yes, of working, you start moving into other organizations. And this network still form a basis for you to tap into the ideas, what is happening in different industries. If there's any employment opportunity, they share with you, right? So that networking is really important. And it should also help you to gauge your own progress, right? As an individual or as a business analyst, your career progress. So if you hear someone that has become, say, an assistant manager, right? It also propels you that, yes, if this guy can achieve it, then I can achieve it also. I've done 5 years in business analysis. He has done 5 years in business analysis. Then I think I've been long overdue on this level. Let me push for the next level, right? So you kind of encourage yourself and you start pushing from there onwards, right? So I don't want to talk too much. Another thing you can do is certifications, right? So you write certifications out there. You can look into IIBA, International Institute of Business Analysis. They offer certification. I think that's one of the most recognized in this climb, in this part of the world. For those in UK, you can look into BCS, right? BCS, right? They offer certification in business analysis also. Some of us might want to take things around Prince 2, right? To help also if you're looking at that. Certifications around Scrum, certifications around Agile, right? Scrum Master, Certified Scrum Master, CSM, things like that can also boost your career or help you in tapping into opportunities in business analysis, making you preferred candidate, right? So as not to be the one talking or not to just hear the voice of my own voice alone before we round up, do we have any question concerning what we've taught or what we've learned all through, like business analysis as a whole or the career part itself? Do we have any question? I think we can take one question before we call it a day. Any question? So I'm assuming we are all fine, right? All right. So I think there's going to be assessment later on, right? So stay tuned, still remain engaging on the group. I'm sure there are a lot of freebies. This is the first of many, right? There are a lot of things that you still have opportunity to explore. So always stay in contact with Brightflare. Follow them on all social handles, right? On all social media pages. Ensure you follow them, right? There's a lot of partnership coming. There's a lot of things that are on the way, right? It's so packed. I'm not just, what do we call it these days? Capping, right? It's not just capping, right? It's the real deal, right? So you want to stay tuned. You have a lot of lineups of professionals, especially when you're looking at this tech space, and you can really gain a lot, right? So see everyone at the top. Do have a lovely day. Thank you so much.